What's going on, world? Your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Leven.
This is the M+M+M show, a.k.a. the show coming to you live and direct from our new edition of Quarantine Chronicles. We're sitting with super interesting people who make super dope music, who are now trapped in super uninteresting lives because we're all stuck in the house. Thankfully, you get to see what that looks like off the strength of us. I don't know where she is in this, but off the strength of us. And we're going to bring you him, which is another dude who you really want to talk to besides us. So let me introduce him. Player, could you introduce yourself so folks know I'm not lying?
Me?
Totally.
You.
My name is Stokley, y'all. You know, drum beater, sonic healer, all that good stuff. So I'm here.
Yeah, a.k.a. extra fake modest guy. This is ridiculous. This is the
You started
Stokley.
to say the new edition of Quarantine M+M+M. It's new edition, bruh.
And he just turns it into, I'm Stokley, sonic healer, camouflage hat wearer, leather house rocker.
But you gotta let people, define themselves, right? In this.
No, I don't. I don't have to do that at all, especially not as long as I've been singing this dude's songs. I don't have to let him define anything. I can do that myself. I was just giving him an opportunity. But if he don't want to take it, this is the man.
Hey, I'm all of that. I'm a lot of different things, but I'm here with y'all. That's why we're here to talk. So, yeah.
Funny story.
Big Stokley of mint condition fame, one of the favorite voices of R&B, behind so many classic hits that are responsible for a lot of you people watching being here in the first place. Ask your parents if you don't believe it.
Probably.
It's a baby making music for sure.
This music he about to drop is going to be responsible for a ton of coronals coming around December and January.
Oh my God. I was about to ask.
That's what I'm calling them.
Gen X, Gen Z, millennial. Coronals? I'm done. That was a good podcast, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I've been good, just considering, just trying to stay healthy, trying to follow directions and pay attention to signs and things that we can see and things that we can't see, so just trying to keep moving, man, and trying to stay creative. That's about it, man. That's all we can do.
Where are you living? Are you out in LA?
No, I'm in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Midwest.
Oh, man.
Got you.
Yeah, Minneapolis, I always think Prince.
Yeah. My mom went to high school in Duluth.
Is that right? Wow.
Yep.
Duluth.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I actually remember. I saw her graduation picture, Duluth Central High. I was like, okay.
Wow.
And it always stuck with me, but I've never been.
Duluth Central. It's like my high school played them. They used to have a pretty good ball team up there, like years ago.
Yeah, she didn't play ball. She was in choir.
All right.
You think Stokley would have been too. With it's wild, bro. With all the success that you've seen, you stayed in Minneapolis. You stayed in Minnesota. Like,
it's sane. I work a crazy life. Working it and living it, two different things. I need something to ground me, and it's definitely grounding here. It's like a person that works at a restaurant or something is a person that just works at a restaurant. That's what they do. They're not trying to get something. They may be, but it's not really that serious. So, it's kind of, I think you need. I've been threatening. I will say I've been threatening to leave here for years. Every time the winter rolls around and it's here a little bit too long, I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Okay, it's too much, and
I say that about New York. I'm never leaving.
Yeah, and eventually I just get another spot somewhere just for the winter. But by the time spring and summer rolls around, I have a love fest again. I'm like, oh, okay, this is why, and it's isolated enough where I can focus. I've tried to figure out why do I, each wintertime, like, why do I live here? What, so, the education system is decent, pretty good.
How many kids you got?
Two.
Oh, salute.
How old?
Yeah, one just coming on out. Just got accepted to Howard. I think she's gonna go to Howard. So really excited about that.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
That's
right. Golf clap up in the house. Got it. Education, absolutely. And my boy, he's just turned 13. Yeah.
So Howard might get Stokley to come on down for homecoming. That would be lit.
Come on.
You might get some bread off of tuition if you.
You playing. Hey. You know,
that's a good idea.
Not cheap these days. You know how much schools are, man. It's like, you know, you can. Harvard's like a small country. Their budget is like.
For sure. I got a question. You said your daughter. I mean, your kids sometimes are embarrassed of their parents / also proud. Where is their like pride embarrassment level? Like, dad's famous. Is that cool for them, or that's like, oh my god, don't mention it again? Where are they at?
No, she digs it, especially when there's somebody she wants to see. Oh, do you know Tyler the Creator? Can we go to the show? Oh, you know Anderson .Paak, are we gonna go? We're gonna go to Coachella. You know, all of that stuff.
Okay.
You know, so she
gotta use your connections.
Yeah, but she enjoys it. But you know, of course, it's my job to partly embarrass them. You know.
Okay.
Right.
Let me ask you a real question, because that was a good one. Let me just piggybacking off of that. Does she understand? I mean, she's on her way to college. Do the kids understand that dad doesn't necessarily make top 40 pop records? Like your sound is universally respected by everyone who knows what talent is supposed to sound like. But you don't do the go viral crowd. You know, like that's not really your lane. You don't really do the TikTok, et cetera, et cetera. Like your fan base is very different, and your talent level is like extremely different. Do they understand that, or is like fame just a blanket for them across the board? They think you can make a call and get Jay-Z on the phone. Not saying you can't. I don't know that you can't do that. Just
I don't know if they could. I mean, they're coming at a different time. They can't understand. You know, how do you do that? I think they do and they don't. You know, they understand what they understand. They've seen come to shows. They know I know a lot of people. Folks know me, and there's some level of fame. Whoever knows me, and there's a lot of people who don't too. Mm-hmm. And you know, they're growing up in the lane that they are, with the pop music and the hip hop that they see in R&B, in that whole, you know, rock and roll world. So yes and no, they get it, but then I think, how can they really know the full spectrum, full gamut? You know, I can tell them about it. Some stuff they discovered, like, oh, Dad, I didn't know you work with such and such. I was working, you know, like, you didn't even tell me that. You know, stuff is moving so quick sometimes, you know, or they'll see a credit. I didn't know you work with, you know, and I'm like, not like I'm holding a secret. I just, there's so much stuff that you forget.
Well, that's what I was actually going to say. We were watching a TV show about, it doesn't matter, but it was two people like discovering things about each other at the beginning of a relationship. Like the guy juggles in the kitchen. She's like, oh, I didn't know you could juggle, right? But at the beginning, you're finding out so many new things about someone. But when you've lived your entire life with someone, you kind of assume you know all the shit. And then all of a sudden, like, new shit pops up. Like,
absolutely.
What?
You know what's crazy about that is my father, he's like 86 now. We just moved him to facilities in there. All these different things. So we're discovering a lot of shit about him. So much stuff. It's so much. I can't even, like, you were what?
Not a second family, though, hopefully.
You were president of what? It's just like endless. And I'm looking at all these pictures. So, I mean, and we've heard the stories of a lot of different stories he's had over the years, but, you know, it's not that. It's like, well, why did you tell us? It's like, it's not like it was a secret. I just never came up. It's like, dude, man, I'm, you know, almost gonna be 90. So, I mean, it's a lot of life.
And also what you find interesting about yourself is sometimes different than what other people would highlight. Like whether it's modesty or pride or whatever, ego, like certain things, like I really want people to know about me. And some things, if they find out, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that was me.
Right.
Like, I'm like ashamed, but I wasn't going to like volunteer it.
Right.
And now, but they love it. So now I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm that girl.
Yeah. You don't know where that line is sometimes, you know what I mean? Right.
For yourself.
Some people just like love it or hate it, you know, here's me, here's what I did. Not proud of that, but I'm gonna tell you what it is, you know, it just depends on, and some people just don't think about it, you know what I mean? So
I can imagine, especially when it comes to kids, because they're under the impression that they have a pretty firm grasp on who dad is. Like you've been this one figure in their lives from birth up until now. And it almost feels like you were cheating if you left something out. For them to find out some other kind of way, it's almost like, wait a minute, how did you, like, that's so disrespectful. Yes. How did you manage to, that's crazy.
Especially if one of their friends find out before they, so what is this with such and such? And you didn't tell me. It was like, and their friends like,
I got to find out from her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know that first.
I'm sorry. That was super triggering. That whole tone of voice she just hit me with.
When you said cheat, when you compared it to cheating, though, I think of you don't want to hear things from outside.
Here's the thing. I wasn't even talking about relationship cheating. I just meant, ooh, you got cool on me and didn't tell me you cheated. Almost like you've been sneaking out to the gym and working out, and now the summer comes around and you take your shirt off for the first time.
You like, bam, bam, wait a minute, hold on a second.
I thought we were both playing video games all winter.
What the F?
Where did that come from? Wait, I got it. Hold up. There's me and there's you. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Yeah.
So you mean to tell me after Call of Duty, when I've been binging on all this Papa John's, you got up and went to the gym? That's hold up. I would say that we got to fight, but you old diesel, so.
Right.
I'm going to find something to do.
So what have you been doing during the quarantine? Have you been working out or binging or half and half?
Half and half, for sure.
I gave you that out.
I think you gave him an out. I see you.
I was going to tell you that because it was, I was, because it's crazy. Here's the other things. Like, I work long hours and I'm probably going to go to bed. I'm just 24 hours pretty much, 6, 7 in the morning, get up. Can't really sleep in the day. So I'm maybe 3-4 hours, sometimes. But other than music, obviously, that's part of, other than going out, the thing that I miss and that we don't do is being out. We're not out. Part of my job is to gather large crowds of people and we celebrate life. That's what we do.
The specific thing that we're banned from doing right now, right?
Yeah, of all of that stuff, celebrating life, sports, entertainment, yada, yada, all that stuff, going out, having a cocktail, all that kind of thing. So other than that, the other part of my job is to, other than being a parent and all the obvious stuff, is to be inside of 4 walls and create music. It's not a thing just to make up stuff all day and whatever comes to me, whatever vibrations is coming through. So that's been the same. The only other thing I started doing again is I do a little bit of crafting, just a little bit. I'm not hiding that from y'all.
Okay.
He cheated.
Just to let you know.
You're admitting it. Like me, like I'm
He ain't never sung about crafting nothing other than 2 people getting together and making a craftmatic jump. He's cheating right now. That's cheating.
Yeah, so I do a little beading and necklaces and
cool.
wrist and stuff on your wrist, that kind of thing. So
you about to pull something up? You got something we can see? Because I
don't right now. I don't right now. I should have had that ready for you, but I'm gonna start posting some stuff. It's not for sale. It's just I've always done it for myself, just because I like the way it looks. I've just been tuned the stones and that kind of thing. So
now, people
I started doing a little bit of that, but it's fun.
Yeah. Your boy Mecca is super into stones, like crystals and all this stuff.
Okay, I can learn some things from you.
Very proud of
their
attributes and.
Super proud. Shout out to my homegirl. Stone and Shadow. Go check her out on Instagram.
Stone and Shadow. All right. Where
Stone
you based?
and Shadow. These are 2 crystals that she caged for me. 2 stones she caged for me.
Wow. Look at that.
Pyrite, moldavite. This is blue calcite. She's amazing with the work.
Wow.
I rock them constantly, and they make me feel fantastic. So
love it.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are into
shout out to Nadia Ishmael of Stone and Shadow Works. You should.
Nadia Ishmael, Stone and Shadow.
I'll send you over the link. She's a beast, and she's in Canada, but she can still send stuff out.
Pretty much right next to you. Sorry.
Yeah, right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there.
Yeah, jump over the lake. You're right there.
Anybody that lives north, or they say something about Toronto or Canada in general, I'm like, Saskatchewan, right? I mean, like Alberta. Like I just started naming like like Michigan. I was like, you mean
BC,
like, Quebec? What?
Yeah, right. Where are y'all located? New York.
We're both in New York.
We're both in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're directly.
I think of you as such a Brooklyn dude, but he's in Manhattan.
Well, I mean, Brooklyn and Queens. I was born in Queens. I moved to Brooklyn, and now I live in Manhattan. Doing this. I was about to say
thing.
I was about to say matrimony thing, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm in the in between.
He's got grand plans, and he lets it be known, which is awesome. Nothing most guys do that.
Matrimony? What you say?
Yeah, I'm moving. I got to get the ring, bro. I got to get ring money together. So, yeah, if you don't knock it off, you done had 18 years and a successful career. Get away from me. Leave me alone. Unless you want to take me a ring.
No, ain't got nothing to do with it. You know how we do. We're like, I got to get myself together. I got to, you know.
Okay.
I hear you.
This is the real conversation to have, because I've discussed this with my lady. I discuss this with my female friends all the time. Women's test in life, I've always believed, is physical, right? A woman's clock is based around her body. 9 times out of 10, it's physical, like having children, having the energy for children, biological clock, all that good stuff.
Right.
A man's
keeping your body looking good as you.
Right. That's the thing. All of that is a test for you ladies. Not to say that men should walk around being slobs, but that is definitely your societal benchmark and societal test. A man's is financial. I know a lot of dudes who would get married, lock it down, have all the children in the world, but a man's responsibility is always seen as financial. So if your money isn't right and you can't take care of this woman and take care of the children, you don't feel confident jumping in. You don't feel ready. You don't feel ready.
This is true.
And
women really think ready is about emotions or done sleeping around or done hoeing or whatever.
And that
you
has
ain't ready. You ain't ready to hang it up, right? And a lot of women have that misconception.
Condoms only cost $3. Children, as Stokley was pointing out, cost a whole lot more than that. College and all of that. I am acutely aware right now at this stage in my life, with everything that's going on. I am acutely aware that there are things that are going to fall directly on my shoulders as a man, and I can't go to anybody else talking about, yo, help me out, blah blah, because that's seen as a failure on my part.
My kid's feet's growing too fast. I need new shoes.
Yeah, listen, like nobody wants to hear that.
The one thing that I think people, especially women, don't want to hear, because it's sometimes depends on how evolved they are, is marriage and family. It doesn't sound sexy, but it's a production. It's a production company. I mean, it really is. We're like, no, it's not. It's not. When you get into it, that's what it is. It's you gotta, down to the nitty gritty, man. It's you don't want to hear that, but that's what it comes to be.
Are you married now? Are you married now?
Yeah.
How long?
We've been together 15 years. Been married 10.
Ooh. Golf clap.
Right.
Golf clap.
What's the 10-year and like they have anniversary gifts? So just remember. All right, I'm not aware of them either. There's
we are
diamonds, rocks.
We are a family and a couple who don't really subscribe to like Valentine's, these kinds of holiday things. I do them, like I'll bring flowers and do stuff. I'll have Valentine's Day on any random day. So I don't need some holiday to tell me that I'm supposed to do this.
A lot of people use that as an excuse to never do it. So I'm glad to hear that. You see what I'm saying? They don't like. I don't like being told to buy flowers and chocolate. That's just because the dude doesn't like spending money or doing corny things. Oh no, I do. You know what I mean? I love that you said like that you do it.
I do, and I do it when I feel it. And she does the same thing. And also here's the bigger thing is you have to pay attention to, like the book, the love languages. You got to pay attention to how this person loves.
It's one of my favorite books. My favorite.
Because we are all taught certain things. Well, if they don't do this, then they don't love that. No. Each person is different. So you got to figure out how it is that they love you. What it is, that they do, that they really that comes from their heart.
Like they never say they love me, but they do so many things for you. That's how they show you that they love you. Right. Like the acts of service instead of verbal, whatever.
It's small things. Right.
It's so dope to understand that.
You got to pay attention to that, men and women. And sometimes we miss it, and it's maintenance. I don't call it work. It's just maintenance, just to maintain what you have. And you're going to learn things along the way. The person's going to be different each day. Whatever it is that is thrown your way, it's about how you cope with it, how are your coping skills. You know what I mean? It's when things are good, that's great. We already know how that goes. But like when there is conflict, how do you resolve it? Are you a good person? Do you know how to debate fairly? You know what I mean?
Right. And, God, he said fairly.
Well, fairly, debate, argue, all these things, but it's not.
Yeah, do you listen? Not here. Listening is a skill, because sometimes people. And do you?
Can you read this?
Are you listening to respond? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because some people listening, they're listening, they're like waiting to respond, but they got, there you go. There you go. There you go.
The favorite.
I mean,
I also have one that says the mouth.
My grandmother used to say, like, look, man, you got one mouth and two ears for a reason. You listen twice as much as you talk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I try to practice. I would say silence is golden, like the actual silence, not like you said, the waiting to respond, which is what I was just doing. So I apologize.
No,
I really just wanted to say something about my mouth.
But that's sometimes excitement. But when you have a really serious conversation, you're in it, something very serious, and that's you have to exercise it. So again, that's a skill. It's not easy, because we're all emotional beings and we're sensitive, and it's like you get a thought, something that the person said, you're like, oh, no, that's not correct, or it reminds you of something you got to get it off, or I'm going to forget it. That kind of, I get it.
My family had this really, really, first of all, look at me, I'm mostly Caucasian. I had a really corny sort of hippie lovey family, right? And we had these little things. So if somebody is talking with their mouth full, you'd go like this to remind them instead of being like, stop talking with your mouth full. And then there was another one, which was, what was it? It was something, it was basically like saying like, can I speak? Like talking stick type of thing, but it was just these little cute motions that they taught us, so that it was like this, and then they acknowledge you, and therefore you like feel heard without having to interrupt.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of cool. Like, I'm not saying that I mastered it, but it was really cool to like try to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
How to listen with intent.
Yeah, it's time for a little more homeschooling on that one, Chris. Might want to use this quarantine time to.
I've been in this big old city talking fast. I have a question, actually. You write a lot of music about love and love making and relationships, sex, all this type of stuff. And you're in a relationship. Do you draw inspiration from your current, or from outside, or from ideas? Are some of them theoretical, or is most of it directed towards a person or a real?
Past, present, and future, and outside ideas, thoughts, themes, concepts, lots of conversations. I might see something a lot of times I'll go to a movie with, a few different purposes. To be entertained, yes. Mm-hmm. To listen to the soundtrack, yes. To listen to the score, but also the theme. What are they saying? What's the undercurrent? What's the takeaway from it? Even if it's the corniest, I love going to movies that people just bash, because I always have my own take on it. I'll either think that a thriller or a horror movie is really funny to me, something like very serious, or something that's very funny is very serious to me. I have this warped, I try to flip it around in my head. But I'm just constantly downloading. And that's, artists are supposed to be some of the most sensitive people in the universe. Yeah. Just taking in all this energy and filtering back out, and hopefully it resonates with people who are the listeners and the people who are viewing.
What's your favorite bad movie? What's the movie that sucks, but you really enjoy? Mine is Ghost Rider 2.
Ghost Rider 2.
Yeah. Is it the
Nicolas Cage? Yeah.
So right.
I do enjoy those movies.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good, because I like
Nick Cage. He's made some of the best bad movies like ever, and I love his movies. Yeah, totally.
I get some. That's a good one, actually. That's a good one. I saw that when I was like, what? But I love it.
Yeah. 1 and 2, actually.
My guilty pleasures. My guilty pleasures. Like my wife was like, "Why? Isn't that corny?" I watched some of these DC comic thing like Arrow.
Arrow. I'm on it. We've been binging it the whole quarantine. I love it.
And so she's like, looking at me like, "What are you doing? Why is that entertaining?" I was like, it's fantasy. I don't know. There's something I get.
But it's very adolescent, story, simplified storyline. Very and sometimes, but okay, we made drinking games out of it too. Like, there's certain things that they do so often.
Oh, you adulted the hell out of it.
Well, we're like, I lied to protect you. Or it's like somebody that you thought was dead. Somebody you thought was dead, all of a sudden is back alive for various reasons. Right. Like, they didn't either die or they were magically brought back to life. Right. Flashbacks, drink. Drink. There's so many of them. But it does, but we discuss, because it's so simple, my roommate and I end up discussing relationship ideas over it, kind of.
Yeah.
It's conversation starter.
Yeah.
From Arrow.
Yeah. Arrow. And I found out when I posted something about it that a lot more people than you'd think watch it.
You know what? I just told you that I like Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider 2. I can't judge anyone. I'm super quiet. I can't judge you at all. Like, not at all.
Right.
Do you know the main guy from Super Rich Asians?
Yes.
The main boyfriend guy. He just recently, or at Christmas time, did a movie with the main girl from Elf. I'm blanking on either of their names. But anyway, the point is, it's a super romance. It's super corny. Like, she's an elf at an elf Christmas store, right? And spoiler alert, turns out he's a ghost. Turns out he's not even real. But it's like she learns about love. And of course, my friend and I went to the theater because she has a crush on him. And so we went like, but it was really a deep movie. And I came out of there like moved in a different way. Like, corny, yes.
So we have a movie about the first man in life to ever have a legitimate reason to ghost a chick. After she catches feelings, he has a legit reason to ghost her. Okay, sure.
Yeah. She realizes that the bench they've been sitting on the whole time is in memory of him. And I know something about she had a heart transplant. She has his heart inside her, so it's even cornier. She'll always have his heart.
Big, deep level Super Saiyan. I'm not mad.
Right.
That's all right.
Anyway, well, it's good to know that that's sort of how you pull inspiration for your music. Is just
for me. I mean, not necessarily that, but
not just corny movies, but
a lot of conversations, and I will wake up, a bunch of ideas from, of course, like this thing we're going through now. Because, we all definitely take life for granted, walking.
And our way of life.
Yeah, and our way of life, breathing, just stuff we don't think about. So it just kind of makes you every day. I've been thinking about it just because you're forced to. It's like, okay, you can't afford to. It's like you see something, social media, news, it's here. You can't go. The fact that we can't go is on our hearts and minds every day, all day. So I mean we are so connected and engaged, whether we want to be or not. It's like this is what it is. So I'm like, okay, I'm really connected. Yeah, this is.
I was gonna say some people that don't have coping skills are really hurting because you either cover over it or try to pretend it's not happening or fully engage without, like, recklessly almost. Like you're fully engaged in either trying to do the most research or I don't know, dive into something so hardcore because you don't know how to handle it. So like depression, anxiety, we're talking about substance abuse and all sorts of things that can spiral.
It's a balance. You can't go too far in and you can't be too far out. You know what I mean? Yes, it's happening and it's terrible. People are dying. People are getting sick. We don't have a vaccine. We're doing things that we've never done, staying in the house. This just looks like a movie, all these different thoughts, your worst nightmares coming. And at the same time, you go, okay, use this time wisely. Try to keep moving, go outside, get some vitamin D safely if you can, all these things, kind of try to keep the best balance that you could possibly keep, there's no one way to do it,
My co-host perved out real quick and we said vitamin D. We are not that mature on this show, Stokley. I need to tell you that right now.
Just sun, sorry.
All I said is I love vitamin D. That's all I said.
I just need to let the man know. I need to let the man know what kind of movie he's walked in on. It's not safe for work. This is one of those. So,
well, if that's in house. Yes, and yes. I'm talking about walking outside, yeah.
Well, technically, if you're going to go outside, you got less of a chance of being caught. There's not really people out there. It's this might be the time to try and pull it off and pull them off. So, all those folks.
Or there's also self-love involved, these days.
Yeah.
But there's no risk involved in that. You can do that whenever you feel.
No, I'm not talking about risk. But listen, somebody sent me a funny meme, and I'm sure you guys probably saw it. Or at least I know my co-host probably saw it. It said let your something about your crystals give you healing light during this time. And somebody had a bunch of different color vibrators in their window. It was pretty awesome.
I did see that.
That's funny.
Said, let your crystal bring your healing light.
Look at that
during this time.
The vibrating crystal. All right.
Said from
Crystal,
vibrating
and my name
crystal.
is Crystal.
Yeah.
Say
Now you know what kind of movie you're in. Now here we are.
Look at that.
Late night
funny.
Cinemax. That's the kind of movie he's in.
Not for general consumption. Quick anecdote, whatever, random. I was going to ask when you, nobody knows when we're getting out of this thing exactly, but do you have like plans for next tours or gigs? Because I know everybody had a bunch of stuff canceled. Do you have any idea?
You know, it's like everybody. It's like whenever this thing lifts, the thing that I'm most concerned about is when it lifts, say we get a vaccine and all these things, if we get it tomorrow, that'll happen at some point. I'm just concerned about the morale of everybody. You know what I mean? I'm sure we want to get back, but you know, how that looks, I don't know.
Right.
You know, so we don't know what people are going, I'm not going, because already I'm like, and I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling the same way. It's like, you know, when this thing lifts, it's saying you can go out. I probably still won't for a couple of weeks.
Let somebody else storm the beach.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's and somebody's gonna always want to do that. And so I mean, it's just gonna be that we're gonna ease into it, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, the things that have been, some things that have been canceled, some things have been postponed, lots of festivals. I mean, it goes on in every industry, everything, you know, life, you know, when life opens, again, when the world opens.
When the world opens. I love it.
You know, tours, performances, promotions, you know, television, you know, festivals, all of it.
Speaking of festivals, I saw you live a couple years ago.
I'm
in
stressing
Jersey,
to
Orange.
everybody to do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to stress that just to piggyback off of Stokley. I'm stressing for everybody to do just to piggyback off of you. I'm stressing for everybody to do the exact same thing. I understand we can't be outside.
You're breaking up. Can't hear you.
Breaking up.
How about now?
Mecca, you're breaking up really bad.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how to fix that. I have no idea how to fix that. How about now?
Okay, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I sat still.
Okay, well, it sounds better now. So just sit still.
The funny part is it's exactly what I'm stressing for everybody to do. Sit still. I think the magic is to be found in the silence. I think everybody, instead of worrying about what's happening outside, take this time, all your anxiety, all your panic, all that stuff. Don't worry about what's outside because you can't control it. You can control what's happening inside, though. Sit still. Yep. Do all the inner work that you need to do. Get your mind right. All that fly stuff. Get past all the distractions because the world is quieter right now. And now's the time to do it. You may never see this time again in history.
That's right.
Go after it. Like, do all of that fly inner stuff that you didn't get the chance to do before. Because this is the moment.
You didn't have time for.
Right.
Right. Learn to meditate. Try yoga.
Didn't make time for.
Yeah. Well, listen, women say that all the time. It's like if he's busy, what is it? He's not too busy for the things he wants to do. That's like advice we give each other type of thing.
Yeah, that's crap too. We can be too busy for the things we want to do. Trust me, like that's also crap. But I get your point. I totally get your point.
For the things that you really want to do, you can find time in, around, and after. You can
absolutely.
Yeah, even if they're minuscule moments, 5-minute meditation, a quick text to the girl you like, not saying a long phone conference or go to her house, but showing that you care about certain things. I'm not talking even relationships, take that out of it, but the meditation and the self-care, like you make time for it, and now you just have endless time.
You know what? I'm going to stop the clock right here. Since we're talking about relationships, I'm going to stop and salute an OG in the Black Men Don't Cheat movement, which is this guy right here, Stokley, the dude who sung, "What Kind of Man Would I Be?" And the rest of that was "Unfaithfully." He told a girl no. This dude, the original kingpin of the Black Men Don't Cheat movement, he was singing anti-side dude songs back in the day. Like this dude right here, we don't give him enough credit. Charlemagne needs to buy this man a bottle or something, because
you know what's funny is like a lot of dudes got upset. They were just playing. You're like, man, why y'all write that song? Like, messing us. I was like, well, we never answered we just asked the question. We never answered. It was just so. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to the people. You know, that's just what it is. That's the thing about the song. What kind of person? What kind of man? What kind of woman?
Questions can be just as telling as the answers themselves. unanswered questions, because everyone's forced to.
That's
AKA,
and then we
deal with it.
Dog hollers.
That really went. That one hit home, and that speaking of like inspiration, where does it come? That came from a conversation. I remember being in. And shout out to Lawrence Waddell, author. Inside of Flight Time Studios, we're discussing relationships and infidelity and all these things that happen, especially, it happens anyway in general in life, but, probably you have more opportunity in the industry that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot more things. And so it was just a conversation. It was like, man, and all these really interesting concepts and angles, and that became the song, So, I mean, that was just answering. And we didn't want it to be where it's like we're telling anybody, don't do this. It's like, just ask the question. And that was more powerful than anything. Because you leave it up to the listener. And the person going like, man, it made you kind of think about it,
The thing about that song is he was actually attracted to the girl. If you listening to the lyrics, it's not like she was a duck. She wasn't like a duck.
It's easy to turn down no temptation.
Right, that's my point. He turned down a baddie. He was telling you she was dope.
A winner. She was a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Oh, that's the telltale sign. Not when there's that's either I'm not attracted. Something it's everything that you're thinking. Well, seemingly it's like the grass is green because you don't know really, but it was
the image they're portraying.
Yeah, but it's like, wow, this is kind of like what I have, but it could be better. But
it's totally happening right now.
And all of the things that's speaking to me, my sensibilities are tingling. That when you're in that moment, that's the
He
hard
said,
thing.
You're feeling it now more than ever. I can't deny. That was the line that was like, wow, this could totally happen. And then right after that, what kind of man would I be? And you walked out the damn door.
Yeah. Ooh, Larry. Man.
I have a question. That's an incredibly deep, epic, and memorable song. What if you had to pick? If you had to pick top one or two songs that
I can't.
I didn't finish.
I know. I felt your energy. All right, I'll let you finish.
I'm trying to find a way.
Warning.
Yes, less than a minute.
2-minute warning. Yeah, come on.
Okay. Oh yeah. I guess the question is more like what message, one or two songs that the message you would want to be remembered by best. Would it be the fun, the love, the pain, the humanity? Like what message, a couple songs that you want to be your legacy attached to?
It's funny. Get cut off,
speaking like this one right now, this thing we're going through. The song that comes to me is a song that's probably not even It's a definitely deep cut song, and it's called "We Got Us."
Okay.
And we're gonna stop right there because we can't go any further. We're about to run out of time. Stokley, tell everybody where they can find you, please.
Stokley Official. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The new CD coming out real soon, Sankofa 2020. Thank you for this, all the success of She that's happening right now. New single coming out with Snoop called Vibrant. There we go. And it's an amazing project. I think you all, I can't wait to share it with you. Really excited about it. And can't wait to come to a city near you, wherever you are, whoever's viewing this. Thank you all for having me.
In the meantime, I'm Between Time. I'm your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This has been the M+M+M show, aka the show. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us a favor, go get laid. Peace.
Oh, that was awesome. We never really have to do the time thing except for Zoom gives us a 40-minute